everyone, and welcome to episode 56 of the Knitty Heather podcast. My name is Heather and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington, up here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. This is my podcast where I talk about everything I have on the hooks and needles. I am mostly a knitter, but I do a little bit of crochet, and I actually have a little bit of crochet to show you this episode. I love sharing my craft and talking about beautiful makers, any yarn dyers, pattern designers, or makers of other accessories that add to the beauty of our fiber community. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I'm so happy that you found me. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate it. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I would love to see what you are working on. All of the yarn and patterns and accessories I talk about will be listed and linked in the description box below. Today is Saturday, February 18th, 2023, and I have a lot to talk to you about, so let's get started. Today I am wearing my River City wrap by Alison LaCicero. This was one of the Advent projects I recently finished. I actually started this last summer. This is from an Advent from 2021. This was the Suburban Stitcher Fade Advent. And I did cast this on, I believe, last August. And I finished it, I think, very early January. I absolutely love it. It is a beautiful lacy design. And then you add a stripe with every single color. I love patterns like this. It is on the bias, so it's a little bit of a parallelogram shape. And it's the perfect pattern for a nice warm wrap for around your shoulder. I can wear it like a scarf around my neck too, but I thought this was really cozy to have it around my shoulders right now. I ordered the Suburban Stitcher Advent in 2021 on her single base. So it's a beautiful single ply yarn. I absolutely love how this turned out. I haven't blocked it yet, and I think I might try to very lightly block it here soon. But I just really wanted to wear it, and I think it's so gorgeous. If you are looking for a scrappy wrap with fingering weight yarn, this is a great option. And you don't have to use a specific Advent for this. You could very easily use it with just leftovers or scraps, or really this would be very pretty in just a single color as well. The lace pattern is really gorgeous. Check out the River City wrap by Alison LaCicero, Freckles and Pearls. This time I actually have some recent acquisitions to show you. I went to a fun yarn, I think it's technically a yarn retreat, but there was a marketplace there called Red Alder in Tacoma, Washington. And I met my friend Bethany and Nicole from the Love and Stitches membership there, along with a few other wonderful ladies. We got to sit and knit a while this morning, and then we went through the marketplace. There were a lot of wonderful vendors. This was the first time I'd ever been to an event like this, and there were lots of people there. This was the Saturday of the event, so usually I would think that would be the busiest day, but it was a lot of fun, and they had so much beautiful yarn. So I did acquire 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn. These are both from Nano Stitch Lab on their Scientific Sock base, which is a 75/25 merino nylon fingering weight. This colorway is called Precipitation. And this colorway is called Annie Easley. And I thought they would go really nicely together to make either a Harlow hat by Andrea Mowry or an All About the Brioche shawl. I'll have to decide what I want to do with this, but I thought this was a really nice pairing together. This Precipitation has just a few of these lovely purple speckles that you see in the Annie Easley colorway. They were right next to each other at the Nano Stitch Lab booth, and I thought, oh, they have to just go together in something. It was very fun to shop around there. I could have spent a lot more money, but I did try to behave myself a little bit. This was absolutely beautiful, and I'm excited to start one of those projects. I don't think I will necessarily do it anytime soon, but I will earmark this yarn for either the Harlow hat or the All About Brioche shawl. Also, my friend Bethany was super sweet and gifted me this gorgeous little pearl progress keeper. I thought that was so nice of her, and it has the beautiful lever back clasp that I really am learning to love. Thank you so much, Bethany. I will definitely put this on one of my future projects. Red alder was a lot of fun. I think it is typically this time of year in Tacoma, Washington at the Hotel Murano. And I do believe you can make a whole retreat out of it and stay at the hotel. And they have all kinds of classes all throughout the weekend. This year I believe it's Thursday through Sunday. And so you can really truly make a fun long weekend out of it if you want. Check out Red Alder. It was so much fun going there earlier today and knitting and chatting with some wonderful people and shopping around the marketplace. I will insert some footage at the end of this episode of us walking through the marketplace and all of the beautiful goodies they had at the booths. Now on to my finished object. I only have one finished object this episode, and it is my pair of DK weight socks that I am knitting for a dear friend of mine. I am using the vanilla DK weight sock pattern by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. And I did this by holding fingering weight yarn double. I did 10 rounds of 2x2 rib around the cuff, and I did about 20 rounds of stockinette down the leg. I did the slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset that she calls for. And then in this particular case, about 30 more rounds down the foot before I did the rounded toe she calls for in the pattern. I think my friend is really going to love this. I gave her some choices of yarn I had in my stash, and she said that this was one of her favorite colors, and so I'm excited to be able to make a nice cozy pair of DK socks for her. I hope they fit her nicely and that she likes them. I will wash and block these before I gift them to her. I do believe I will see her next weekend, and so I'm hoping that I can gift those to her then. The yarn I used was from Crystal Skies hand dyed in the colorway Burning Day, which was one of the colorways from her Witches and Wizards Club last year in 2022. This is a pair of DK weight vanilla socks by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Burning Day by Crystal Skies hand dyed on her 75/25 ragdoll sock base. Now on to my works in progress. I do have a few works in progress I'd like to show you this week. The first is my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for the month of February. I am doing her monthly sock club. I have these socks in my sock monkey bag with my Desert Vista Dye Works buttons on it. This bag is from MLD Threads on Etsy. And here are the socks. I've made a little bit of progress since last time I talked to you. This Coyote Progress Keeper was from her 2022 prize pack for completing the 8th annual monthly sock club. The colorway I am knitting with this month is called the Rarest of Them All. It's got these 3 beautiful stripes, this purple, green, and blue. I am using a purple mini for the toes, and I did just finish a Fish Lips Kiss heel using that same purple mini. And so now I'm trying to knit about a stripe a day until the end of the month so that I can have another pair of Desert Vista Dye Works socks completed. I'm really loving how these are knitting up. It's just a very, very beautiful colorway. I've had this colorway in my stash for a while, so I'm really pleased to be able to knit it up this month. I'll do a few more stripes and then end with a purple stripe and then pick up the purple mini to finish off the cuff, and they will be done. I have 10 more days to finish it, so I think I should have no problem doing that. This is a pair of vanilla socks, knit 2 at a time, toe up with the wedge toe and a Fish Lips Kiss heel, using the colorway The Rarest of Them All from Desert Vista Dye Works. Next, I'd like to tell you about a very special shawl I am working on. I have it in my Sloth project bag from Quilt Knit Craft on Etsy, and I do have a cute little Sloth Progress Keeper that I'm using as a zipper pull. This is from Simply Serving on Etsy. I am very happy to show you a little bit of progress on the test knit shawl that I am working on for my friend Grace. I've worked a little bit more since this Boston Progress Keeper that I got from my friend Jordan. I finished this stockinette section, and now I am working on a very fun textured slip stitch section with the two contrasting colors. This is a yet unnamed 3-color triangle shawl, and I am holding fingering weight double. There's really not a whole lot else that I want to say about this yet until the pattern is published, but there are just some beautiful sections of texture with stockinette, and it is in a very traditional and very wearable triangle shape. I have a little bit more left to do in this current section, and then a couple more little things I need to do to finish this off, and then I will block it. I'm trying to make notes for her as a good test knitter on how much yarn I'm using and all of those kinds of details, and it's really been a beautiful pattern so far. I really am enjoying it. One more quick look at all the beautiful colors and how they're interacting together. The yarn I'm using is Leading Men Fiber Arts, their Soliloquy, in the colorway Blue Ink. I did decide to split my yarn into 2 balls so that I could carry them double a little bit easier. Originally I was pulling from the inside and outside, and it was kind of getting a little too tangly, so I thought it would be safer to split each ball in half. Please check out Grace May Designs on Ravelry. She's a wonderful young and up-and-coming designer, and I think we'll see lots of great things from her in the future. This is a test knit shawl for Grace May Designs. My next project I have to show you is actually a new cast on. I have it in my Knitrovert bag, which was an extra from Yarnable 1 month a while ago, I believe. And I have cast on a habitation throw. I'm using this cute unicorn Progress Keeper. I'm not quite sure where I got that, but it is adorable. I think I got it with some yarn I ordered on Etsy a couple years ago. Some knitting friends and I decided to cast this on as a Valentine's Day cast on, so I don't have a ton of progress on it. I have used what I want to use from my first color. So I've kind of done 2 little strips. I did this beginning corner and then 1 little strip. And then from here on out, I'll do 2 strips in each color. The yarn I will be using is leftovers from my weekly advent, I think back from 2020, from Clark and Elle, where she did a seasonal weekly advent, and you got to open up 1 mini every week for an entire quarter. She did 13 of them in each set, and I do have a winter, a spring, a summer, and a fall collection. I started with the first of the winter. Here it is in the cake. It's very light with some delicate blue speckles. And then next I will be adding in this very pretty silvery gray. This has been a lot of fun to knit so far. I'm just getting going on it. I'm using a size 6 ChowGoo red lace needle with a 47-inch cord, so it's really long cord right now, but this thing will grow. So my plan is to do the first 26 colors of winter and spring in the increase sections, because you increase corner to corner. And then I will use my summer and fall minis from the collection in the decrease sections. And so it should look really cool. I've had this idea in my head for quite a while, and then one of my friends suggested we cast this on, and I thought, okay, now is a good time to do it. So I did. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a very relaxing knit. It's got an I-cord border and then sections of garter with some eyelet rows in between. I am going to see how it looks with 2 sections of each color. I think that will hopefully make it big enough. So I will end up with 52 colors total in this blanket. This is the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart, knit up in the Year of Minis Advents from Clark and Elle on Etsy. Next, I'd like to give you a little bit of an update on two of my other scrappy blankets that I am a little further along on. First, I'd like to show you my Coziest Memory Blanket by Kemper-Ray. I believe I was on this square last time we talked, and so I've made it a little bit further down this row of knitting. And I am currently just starting with this pretty bright blue color. Here it is in the mini. On this row, I am adding minis from my 2020 Advent from Knit Style Yarns. Here's a little better look at them. I did cast on 6 fewer stitches than the pattern originally calls for. And so the squares are a little smaller than they should be according to the pattern, but I like this size. And then I am doing 24 squares across in each row. And here's kind of where I left off on the last row. This is a very fun blanket. It's really fun to have little pieces of all the different projects that you have worked on. I am trying to use minis that have gone into a different project, so it really is full of memories. And I just need to keep plugging away at this. I don't make nearly as much progress on it as I would like to, but it is a lot of fun. This is The Coziest Memory by Kemper-Ray, a wonderful choice for a scrappy blanket. Last, I would like to show you the progress I have made on my scrappy granny stripe blanket. I think I have made progress since this little apple progress keeper right about here, since the last time I talked to you. So I have done quite a few inches on it. It is growing, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm trying to get about 20 minutes worth of work on this every night before I go to bed. There it is, kind of from top to bottom. I still have a lot of rows left to do, but this has been a lot of fun. It's been a very relaxing, fun crochet project. I am using my Knit Picks 3.5 millimeter, which is, I believe, a size E crochet hook. And I am following the pattern from Lucy of Attic 24, which seems to be a very popular one. I'm stopping my yarn with a little clippy marker so I know where to begin every night and so I don't lose my stitches. I am using minis from Crystal Sky's hand dyed in this blanket. I have been collecting minis from her Mystery Mini Club for quite a while, and so I'm happy to be putting these into them. This green color is the color I am currently adding. Here it is in the cake. That mini, I believe, is from February of 2021, so I have lots of months left of these minis. It's a set of 5 minis that she did every month that kind of had a color theme throughout. And I think they look really good together in a beautiful scrappy blanket. So I will try to continue. I still probably have at least 10 more packs before I stopped getting that club. So I think I will have plenty of that yarn to keep adding to this blanket. I think I originally changed about 330 or 336 stitches, something like that. It's going to be pretty long. It pretty much fits across my king size bed, but I wanted it to be nice and long and cozy. Let me know if you have any kind of scrappy blankets on the needles or any other kind of scrappy projects. They're so much fun and a great way to use up leftovers or minis you have in your stash. This is the Granny Stripe Blanket by Lucy of Attic 24, knit up in minis from Crystal Sky's hand dyed on Etsy from her monthly Mystery Mini Club. Now please enjoy a little bit of footage from the Red Alder Marketplace. about all I have for you this episode. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I truly appreciate it. Please don't forget to give this video a like and consider subscribing. That would really mean so much to me. I love interacting with everyone on the YouTube. And as always, please let me know if you have any ideas or feedback for the podcast. You are more than welcome to leave a comment below or message me on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I would love to hear from you. But until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.